All right, there we go. So we are starting now in Proverbs chapter 24, verse 19. Do not fret because of evildoers, nor be envious of the wicked. I believe that's Psalm 37. We're seeing, in a very parallel passage right there. Psalm 37, do not fret because of evildoers, nor be envious of the workers of iniquity. Look at that. For they shall soon be cut down like the grass, and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and feed in his faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. Love that. And so this is just saying, again, the same thing. Don't fret. Don't be envious, for there will be no prospect for the evil man. The lamp of the wicked will be put out. And so very similar to Psalm 37, 1 and 2. We read a little further. My son, fear the Lord and the king. Do not associate with those given to change, for their calamity will rise suddenly, and who knows the ruin those two can bring. Ooh, do not associate with those given to change. Man, that's kind of heavy, but it's also wisdom from Solomon. You know, I think it's worth noting when people are kind of wishy-washy, when they're subject to change this, to do that, maybe this, maybe that, this way, that way, and when people are very hot and cold like that, I would say we have Christian brothers and sisters who are like that, and they can be our friends and they can be our associates, but it's also something where we need to be cautious, because ultimately what we want is people who are steadfast, people who are faithful. I was just talking to some of the leaders at our church recently about how, as this church grows, I don't necessarily need a lot of talented people, but find me a few men and women who are just faithful, because we've got a lot of stuff that has to happen, and it's not even hard stuff, but it has to happen. And quite often, all these little things that would just take someone faithful to step up and fill the gap, they're the things that kind of bleed out some of the other people, where you got people who, they've got a set of skills and they need to be focusing on a task that only someone with that set of skills can do. But those people that are also doing all these other things, and you want someone faithful, someone who's given to change. Just the idea is like you just don't know what to expect from them, right? They might be faithful in some ways, but it's just the idea of it's nice to know where someone stands and that you're not going to come back and check on them later and all of a sudden they're trying something new or they've given up on that and they've got a new. It can be frustrating. Verse 23. Which my Bible gives a new section to, further sayings of the wise. These things also belong to the wise. It is not good to show partiality in judgment, right? Just fair judgment. He who says to the wicked, you are righteous, him the people will curse. Nations will abhor him. But those who rebuke the wicked will have the delight, and good blessing will come upon them. Or will have delight, and good blessing will come upon them. So, righteous judgment. People can tell when people are being unfair or biased in their judgment, and they don't like it. He who gives a right answer kisses the lips. Kind of like that. And let's see here. Prepare your outside work. Make it fit for yourself in the field, and afterward build your house. Interesting. I'm thinking about this. This is kind of interesting and fascinating, because I think there's a truth in different circumstances going in two different directions. We want to build our home, and by that I'm thinking more of the tangible stuff. We want nice things, and it's not wrong to want a nice house that's just like, it's not falling apart, it's clean, it's functional. I mean, it's not wrong to want some basics and have a car that's reliable and a this and a that. But many people these days, that's what they're aiming at. They focus on getting that car, even if they have to finance it. They're trying to build their house, but they've not actually spent any time investing in their field. Now, the field for this person, right? These are farmers. This is their place of income. So this is not, put this in perspective of the times. Put your field first. You need a career. You need a job. And you need a source of income before you start building up your house. Now, in a more spiritual sense, too, though, I think you need to build up your house to be witnesses of Jesus to Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, to the ends of the earth. It starts at home and then it moves outward. We need to have strong Christian homes. And then we build outward from there. Strong Christian homes makes a strong Christian church. And a strong Christian church makes a powerful entity in any town. Do not be a witness against your neighbor without cause, for would you deceive with your lips? Do not say, I'll do him just as he's done to me. I'll render the man according to his work. So again, we're not supposed to do vengeance. Vengeance belongs to the Lord. And then a nice little closeout to our chapter. I went by the field of a lazy man, and by the vineyard of a man devoid of understanding. And there it was, all overgrown with thorns. Its surface was covered with nettles. Its stone wall was broken down. When I saw it, I considered it well. I looked on it and received instruction. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Like that, right? So shall your poverty come like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. Yesterday, I gave an election sermon, and I wholeheartedly said that I believe the greatest threat to our nation is not communism nor liberalism, but merely Christian apathy. Lazy Christians. I think it's the greatest threat to the church, because the gates of hell cannot prevail against the church. Satan cannot prevail against the church. It's a losing battle for him. And the only thing he can do that really makes a difference, and what he is doing and doing well, is simply having the church not fight the battle. You see, when people are lazy, things don't get done. There's not much you can do about it. Laziness is very harshly spoken against in the Bible. And there's a lot of lazy people these days on many different fronts. And rather than dealing with the more literal interpretation of this text, I think that's the final exhortation of today, is just, we can't be lazy Christians. Lazy in the gospel, lazy in prayer, lazy in fellowshipping and gathering with the saints. We know what we're supposed to be doing. But Satan will offer us amusement, distractions, and excuses galore of why we don't need to be here or there. Well, I don't have time. I can't this. You can make time. You can make time. And you know what? Last word. I don't think you will ever look back and say, I regret faithfully getting my family to church 2 or 3 times a week over the last 10 years. It's really hindered my family that I've brought my kids to church to hear Bible stories multiple times a week and to develop relationships with other Christian children. No one ever regrets that. No one ever regrets that. Someone always has the rare instance, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean, right? No one regrets that. Taking the time to do life right. No one regrets committing to reading their Bible. No one regrets committing to reading the prayer. And yet, how many of us regret the long season we took off from church? The long season of prayerlessness. The long season of just, doing the bare minimum so that we can still call ourselves Christian, but realizing that we've missed out on a lot that God was doing. All right. You guys have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.